is a problem from Chapter 2.4, and it's comparing two sets of data, and you're going to interpret the data. You have SAT scores for 8 guys and 8 women, and these are samples because I know there are more than 8 that take the SAT. We're going to find the range, the mean, the median, the variance, and standard deviation for each set, and then we're going to interpret the results. When you start with this, the first thing you're going to do, and I'm going to put a screen here so I can point it to it a little bit better. The range is the maximum minus the minimum, and there's the range. So there's a range of 1,087 points. The mean, you add up all of the data and you divide by the number of samples, and there's 8, so the mean is 1,643. The median, I choose the 2 middle scores. So here what I'm looking at, these are my 2 middle scores, and since there were 8 of them, I have to choose the 2 middle and average them. So you add them, divide by 2, and I get 1,679. From there, I'm going to look at the variance. So they're the points, they're the numbers that I took half of them when I added them, because with an even number for median, that's what you have to do. So now I'm going to take a look here real quick. And what I do is I take the first data entry and I subtract the mean from it, and that's what I get, and then I square it. And I do that for each data entry. I'll take the data entry, subtract the mean from it, and remember my mean is whoops, I don't want that, is 1,643. So I'm subtracting this mean from each one of these points down here, one of these data entries. Once I subtract it, I immediately will square it, and any squared number gives you a positive number. So even if your calculator says it's negative, you needed to put this in parentheses like that in order to square it. So from there, when I add these numbers up, I get 815,342, and to get the variance, I need to take n minus 1, so that's the number of entries minus 1, and if I do that, I'm going to get 116,477.4 when I divide 7 into this top number. So that's the variance. To get the standard deviation, you need to take the square root of this number, so I actually should have had a square root symbol here. And so it's the square root of this, and that gives me 341.3. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do exactly the same thing for the girls. So here are the females, and the females, there's the range for the females, same thing that I've done. There's the mean for the females, there's the median for the females, and I take each one of those data points and I subtract the mean from it, and here's my mean. And once I get that answer, if it's negative, I square it and it becomes a positive number, and then I add them all up. Once I've added them all up, I'm going to take that number divided by n minus 1, which is 7, and that gives me the variance. Now what you want to do is you want to take that variance and take the square root of it to get standard deviation. Notice this says squared, and then this one is not squared, so that's how you know that's the standard deviation. And what happens is the boys had a greater variance. I believe theirs was 341 if I'm not mistaken. Where is it? It's down here. It was 341. So the girls had less variance than the boys did. So what I could say about this data is that from the SAT scores, there's more variable than in the SAT scores for the guys than for the girls. But also, the guys had a lower mean and a lower median, so that tells me a lot too. So their scores were a little different. So that's the conclusion I could draw from that one.